Oh, I hear an echo. Oh, it's my computer. I'm Tiffany Carlen with Nona Reed here on JoCo Vibes on this Wellness Wednesday, this wacky Wednesday, this whatever Wednesday you want it to be. We Rise Wednesday. I really kind of like sticking with that as well because we have to rise above. I got to rise above so much stuff. Number one, and number two, when we rise, we have to take other people with us. We have to
Right.
lift others. So keep those things in your mind today. If this is the only thing you hear on the show, and then you are like, I don't want to listen to anymore. Let that at least be some sort of small takeaway, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. So good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning.
I'm Tiffany Carlin with Nona Reed.
Well,
Same
I
two
had a
people
sneeze.
usually.
I had a sneeze attack this morning, so like
You're just getting over it.
I literally maybe minute and a half ago,
I'm having a hair
my
attack.
head was like I was sneezing crazy.
I'm having a hair attack.
Yeah.
Um,
That's why mine does this right now. It just
uh,
goes up in a ponytail.
I just left and someone rang our front doorbell.
Oh, package?
Maybe, I don't know. Trying to get to my camera so I could see because Todd's sleeping in a little bit. He deserves that.
Yep.
So, and I got up and took Maximus to cross country today.
Yay.
No. That's a okay.
It's early, yes.
I mean, he's got to
It
be.
is
He's got to.
early.
He's got to be there by 6:20. Oh, the cleaning ladies. I didn't even tell them. We didn't schedule today. Billy Rhodes, if you're listening,
don't clean.
not a good day, my love. Because we rescheduled for Monday. I'm gonna have to text her really quick. So, can you talk about something while I try and?
Oh, let's see. Oh, my daughter called earlier this morning, and it normally she's been working these 12-hour shifts, so she's up and already gone to work. Well, she doesn't go until 12 today. She calls and she's like, I can't even sleep in. The dog won't quit barking, and it's not even her dog; it's the roommate's dog. Because she's already locked up, where her dog is still sleeping with her. So she's like, I can't sleep. I go, well, put some music on. I'm trying to give
What
her
was
all.
the dog barking at?
And she was because Miller was already locked up. You know how dogs bark when.
Yeah.
And she's like, I said, well, maybe she'll stop. She's mom. She's been locked up since 7. This was like 8:45. So I'm like, turn some music on. I was trying to give her ideas on I was like, or let.
Does she sleep with a fan?
Yeah, she's got the fan going in, but the dog's barking right in the hallway.
Yeah.
Because that's where they put the dogs.
Man, having roommates is annoying.
I know.
I'm gonna tell you what, I do not. I don't miss
I know,
that.
and that's what I told her. I was like, look, hun, I mean,
although I have to say, I mean, over the years, think I've been really lucky. I haven't had a roommate since I lived in Florida. I mean, I'm sorry. I had a roommate in Florida, a great Marine, because I lived right outside of Corey Station in Pensacola, and I was dating a Navy guy, and then my roommate was a Marine.
Yeah,
and Jim is a great guy. In fact, when he actually went over, he went to war after 9/11 and ended up moving to Texas, and we reconnected. And I met him for breakfast. It's been years ago now. I've lost track of him now, only because I lost that old
because of that account.
Yeah, so and I think I might have his phone number. I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe he got divorced. I can't remember. But I met him at Cracker Barrel, my sister and my little boy, and it was great to see him.
I had 2. Okay, so I mean, I married right out of high school and then divorced, and then was single for a little while, and then dated someone, and then was single again. I had one female roommate, and for the most part, her and I really got along and did a lot of things. There was some boy drama at one time that was really ugly, but other than that, we got along really well. But I think my best one was my guy roommate. But not all
Well, that was
guys
that was the Marine.
but not all guys are, because if they're just complete slobs and have don't take out up af pick up after themselves, and you are the female in the
Yeah.
house, I can see that's gonna drive, that would drive me crazy.
No, my Marine
B, if you're a roommate that's a guy, but then does take care of your stuff, then that's great roommates.
my Marine Corps roommate friend Jim was he was outrageously particular.
Uh-huh.
So he was slightly OCD, and that's that Marine Corps thing because that's what they get
Yeah.
taught. My
Yeah.
brother Johnny was the same way. Rich didn't hold on to his Marine Corps particulars for as long as Johnny did, and then of course my dad. So, but Johnny was really hardcore when he came back from boot camp. I mean, I remember even after he got out of the Marines, he would still crease the back of his shirts in the two spots.
Yeah.
So like even when he was still a Marine or he'd come home or whatever. I mean, so if we went out to the clubs in Hoboken, New Jersey, or went out to the city, Hoboken, they would he'd always do the double crease in the back. He'd do the two crease tuck. So anyway, yeah. And then one of my other roommates was one of my dear friends from high school, Kelly.
Yeah.
And we lived together in New Jersey, and we did great together. I mean, there's been times I ragingly pissed her off. I know I did, and I love her.
I know
and
that.
I still love her.
Melanie and I got along really, really well.
We did too.
There was just one particular issue, and it was about a guy.
Okay, I'm gonna say that's probably what it was for when she got mad at me, but it wasn't
her and I
over
are
a guy.
friends. Again, I mean, we got over that and moved on.
Yeah.
Oh God, I've been married for 26 years, so that's old. But I mean,
It's going to be 20 years for us in October, and we've been together 22 years total. So, pretty proud of that.
Yeah.
Aren't you proud of that? I mean,
yes.
people, a lot of people don't make it
Yeah.
this far, even
yeah.
after the ups and downs, because marriage is not perfect.
Exactly. There's ups
So-
and downs, and if anybody says their marriage is perfect, they are fooling themselves.
So,
Jamie says, so she's heard we may not get back to the 100-degree weather this year. Ready for fall. I
thank
agree.
God.
I agree.
I'm over this. I seriously
I'm a summer
am.
girl, but
I mean, I just, I came back.
good grief.
I spent 2 weeks just about 2 weeks in Minnesota, and Todd was gone. Todd was there for 3 weeks with Maximus, and that's why we were off air for quite a while. And first of all, the temperatures were just absolutely amazing, and just staring out at a beach, a
lake,
staring out at a lake every day was fabulous, and
yeah,
the breeze coming off the lake, and but it was such a great trip, and
we duo.
Yeah. Todd got to have really the trip of a lifetime with Maximus.
That's so good.
And they went out into what's called the Boundary Waters up there, which is it can be a little frightening on the parent side and spouse side who's on the outside, because there is no communication when you're in there unless you have a satellite phone. So there's no tracking people. I mean, it's I'm not kidding. They literally have to sign stuff. They have to take they've got to watch videos before they go into the Boundary Waters, because it's no motors. You have to carry your boat in, your boats,
and those are
and
not,
there's 4 of them.
They're not light boats, by the way.
I carried the 90-pound canoe, and I keep meaning to ask the people that we rented from because they have an Arlo camera out there. I'm like, I need the Arlo footage of me carrying this
Might be quite entertaining.
First of all, I nearly hurt myself, but it was a great workout. And the stairs, you saw the picture of the stairs and how steep they were to get them down to the water. So I carried that 90-pound canoe down the steps with which 90 pounds on an incline is more than 90 pounds.
Right.
And so I did it with my nephew, who is, I mean, he's monster strong, thank God. But we hit we hit a part to where we literally were on the steps and we had to spin the boat around so that he could go down first. And there was no other way for us to do it. We had to do it that way because there's seat cushions in the canoe that are literally made to rest on your shoulders. And so we had to spin it so that he could have that portion on his neck. Cause I got 3/4 of the way down and I was losing it. I couldn't hold it. And I haven't, I've got the bulging discs in my neck. So I was really afraid of injuring myself or my nephew. I mean, I was like, I'm going down. I'm going. I was like, I'm going. And I just got lower. I'm like trying to rest it on the side of the wood. So yeah, so that was my, and I did use those steps daily as a workout. So that, there was that too. And
I mean, just the wildlife itself could be a little scary of having your family out there.
Well,
I know there were some encounters.
There was some encounters. So the very first night that they tented, they had a massive thunderstorm, and that is the first time Maximus has ever been in a tent during a major thunderstorm.
Oh my gosh!
And so he was stifling the cries and told Todd, I want to call Mom. And I was like, oh. So when I heard that, when they came out, I was like, yes, he's still little. Thank God. I got one left. But they did have a bear. So Maximus had gone out to go to the bathroom. And within one of those days, I can't remember which day it was. And he saw the bear. And so he came back to the tent, and then, all right, now they got a bear around. So, I mean, you have to have multiple tents, and you've got to have one completely separate for all of your food. And so it was a great learning lesson, but nobody wants a bear around.
Right. No.
And then there's some great video and photos to where my Uncle Jack, which is my sister's husband, my husband's cousin. We're all Herds. Married name is Herd. And so him and his boy, Jaxel, were out on the canoes and moose sighting. That's what they said.
I got to see that video. That was pretty cool.
Now, what they didn't tell the boys while they were out there is that just 2 weeks before, 2 people were killed by a moose. So, yeah. So it's dangerous. They're very dangerous. They're beautiful and stunning animals. I mean, if you've never encountered one, you really don't know how big they are until you're there. So they were out on the water, and
that's what kept them fairly safe, was because they were in the water.
And they kept their distance.
They were in the canoe in the water with the moose.
Right. They were on land, but very close. But they'll come into the water.
Yeah.
But they did not. They kept their safe distance. They got some great video and some great photos.
They are pretty cool.
It was, and I think there was 2 of them. But they were beautiful.
Yes, there was.
And I don't.
Boys were pointing it out earlier.
I meant to go look and see exactly how the death occurred of the 2 people, and I didn't go look. And maybe there's a good reason for that. So, but they had the time of their life. He will not stop flipping his Zippo lighter, and all the way home in the car drove me insane. I'm like, stop the noise. All right, we'll be right back after this quick break.
Abnormal realities.
I love my mom.
Yep. She sent me a message.
My mom did?
Yeah, Wednesday night. And she invited me over tomorrow night to watch Titanic and share a bowl of popcorn. And I accepted.
You did?
Yep.
That'd be fun.
And she calls it Chaps Only Night. Every Saturday night.
Look.
Miss Dixie?
Look.
How you doing? He said, it's my mom, bro. All right, it's my mom.
I want to hear the answer to the Titanic and popcorn. Go ahead, Mom. What's up?
Oh!
Hi, boys.
Hi,
I just
Mom.
wanted to ask Rocky if he wanted butter on that popcorn or not.
I
my
would rather
God.
have the butter somewhere else, but if popcorn's the only place I can have it, I'll take it.
Jeez,
Hey,
dude.
nobody says I can't roll around in it for a little bit.
All right, Mom.
That is my
Love you.
girl. I love you,
Mom.
Dixie.
Abnormal realities
Bye, Mom. Love
Oh,
you.
Dixie.
Bye. I love you too.
with Ron and Rocky. Weekdays, 4 p.m. and 10 p.m. on JoCo Community Radio.
Holy crap.
Hey, there's something you forgot to do. It sure is hot. Are you sweating like a dog? Wait, what? Dogs don't sweat. Oh no, you forgot to get your window tinted. Whether it's the kitchen window that sits in the sun for the hottest part of the day, or you just got new wheels, call Sharp Window Tinting in Burleson. 817-615-9379, or look them up on the web, sharpwindowtint.com.
Fast Track Student Loans can get your student loans out of default, stop any wage garnishments, stop collection calls, and stop seizure of your tax refund. Give yourself a break. Stop the stress and get your student loan payments down to as little as $25 a month based on what you can afford to pay. 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395, 800-709-4395.
And welcome back to the second half of JoCo Community Radio. I forgot. I mean, reckons are back. Rewind. Okay, welcome back to the second half of JoCo Vibes.
That was a really good rewind there.
That's what I get trying to multitask there. Anyway, JoCo Community Radio is proud to be the voice of Johnson County, Texas, and is live 365 on the TuneIn Radio Network. To listen or watch, simply go to the tuneinjoco.com to choose where and how. The JoCo Community Radio app is now available for free on Android and Apple devices. Simply search your store. Check out our lineup and more on JoCoCommunityRadio.com. This episode and more is brought to you by Patriot Claims, making your insurance work for you. Reach out to your Texas sales rep, Nona Reed, at 844-TEX-HAIL.
That's you.
I was about to say, I hear she's really cool.
She's cool. She's a cool chick.
I guess
If you really know her.
Depends on who you really ask. 844-839-4245.
Hey, can I have that keyboard really quick?
Nope.
Okay. All right. Show's over. See you later.
Show's over. Entertain yourselves.
So there's some interesting, wacky Wednesday news that's going on right now. So I just found this kind of funny when I came across it. It happened on August 16th. A man wanted for grand theft auto tried to make a getaway on a construction vehicle, an excavator. This happened. Did
he get away?
This happened in Oregon. He made it about half a mile with deputies walking behind him until they made an arrest.
That's what it was like. He couldn't have gone very fast.
Like, I'm gonna flee the scene of a crime, and I'm gonna take the slowest vehicle.
He could have ran faster.
He would have ran faster, or like a bicycle.
Right.
I mean, anything. With the cops walking behind him, they must have been laughing.
You know, the whole time they're sitting there going, "Oh, good."
I mean, seriously laughing. That's hilarious. So there is a pest problem that's going on, and I don't know about these flies. But they're called spotted lantern flies, and they're spreading in the USA. State officials are calling on residents to get involved and kill these bugs at all costs. No, seriously though, the spotted lantern fly, which they look really interesting. Their wings are really, the wings are kind of
Do they
spotty
glow?
looking.
Do they
Um,
glow? I mean, if there's
it-
lantern flies,
yeah,
right?
like the fly looks, it's red underneath, or that's a layer of another wing. I can't tell. And then the wings are spotted, so white and spotted. So, but they're not dangerous to people. They're not dangerous to animals, but they are an agricultural nightmare. So they
Oh,
could really, really cause massive damage to the agricultural
Yeah.
industry. So, just in some interesting news. Another interesting piece of news out of Venice: the mayor calls out imbeciles surfing Italian city's historic canals. Incensed by two people he saw as making a mockery of Venice, Mayor Luigi Brugnaro offered a free dinner to anyone who could help bring these surfers to justice. So, but I could see that. I mean, Venice is,
Mhm.
but hey, isn't that kind of like someone streaking through a football game?
Right.
I mean, stupidly, but still, I mean, it's just kind of, alrighty. So close to a decade after a catfishing incident, former NFL player Monty Teo opens up. It's the kind of captivating, complex story that's hard to forget once you hear it. In 2012, star Notre Dame linebacker Monty Teo's grandmother died. Just hours later, his girlfriend died of leukemia.
Oh, good grief.
Rising above the tragedy, he seemed unstoppable in the field as Notre Dame went on to a winning season. So that one, I didn't click through to that one, but he went through some sort of catfishing thing after that. I guess during his vulnerability.
Oh, wow.
So interesting. So, all right. In many U.S. schools, the human skeletons hanging in biology or art classrooms were actual remains. Did you know that?
I've kind of heard that.
Whose bones are these? So here's the origin of the story of one set of bones in Erie, Pennsylvania.
Erie.
Erie, Lake Erie.
I
is a
know,
big-
I know. I just thought it was funny they used that particular story.
Yeah, right.
That city. I mean, they could have used any city and used that one.
I guess it's where this story came from, but it's kind of a longer one, so I'm not sure I'm going to read the whole thing. So, like a lot of schools with skeletons like this, my old high school faces a decision: should they bury it like a school in the UK, because that's what they would do. So I guess they found out who the remains. There was a skeleton in this school in Erie, PA,
Uh-huh.
that they actually were able to trace who it was, and so then they had to decide. Now that we know who this was, is this appropriate? And how freaky is that? Is that
Yeah.
true? Like that?
I really
guess
don't
if you-
know. I saw it on I saw it on the web too. I don't know if that's true. I wasn't a science teacher either, so
I would assume,
and I didn't see it until after I left.
I would assume that, I mean, there are people who donate their remains to science.
Right.
So I could see that being appropriate, but maybe that history of who that was,
Maybe more in college.
maybe. I think that would be weird to have a.
But if you're taking that class and you know that because I mean, there's even some schools that they do work on human bodies.
Right.
So, I mean, it's because when your body is donated to science.
Hello, my name is Jen.
I'm so sorry.
When your body is donated to science, it sometimes goes to learning schools.
Right.
So, I mean,
most cadavers go to law school, go to medical school.
They go to law school too, and they become lawyers.
that would be. I mean, there are definitely some skeletal type attorneys out there.
Yes, they are.
I mean, we could probably name several that are sitting in Congress.
Right.
That are like
So, I mean, I could definitely see someone's human bones being in one of those learning schools or something.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I could, but I don't know,
I
high
know it's
school,
still-
elementary school.
no, I don't agree there, but
That
we
would-
don't even know if that's true.
Yeah. All right. So, wait, I can't do that yet because I don't have it open.
I don't
Dang
even
it.
know.
How did I do that? I'm trying to, hang on. I'm trying to. What does that one say?
Huh? What?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
share
I
screen.
clicked the wrong
Share
one.
screen.
Okay. So yesterday on air, we were talking about some of the stuff that was going on with the Burleson Independent
Right.
School District.
Mhm.
And one of the things that we were discussing is some research that was done. I have taken the Open Meetings Act training course directly from the
As
Attorney
I
General's,
did too.
directly from the Attorney General's office, from their website, and received my certificate.
Me too.
That includes at least 1 hour of video training, which I actually did more because I wanted to go back and make sure I understood things very well. I also have the 2022 handbook that I've gone through and highlighted a ton of stuff. And so there were some people who commented later in the day on yesterday's show that were basically saying I was lying, that I'm wrong. I'm completely misunderstanding.
Well,
and that's fine. I mean,
But we're all lying.
like I
I'm
told
lying
them,
about.
I know, like I told them, go to the AG, call them, pick up the
Right.
phone and call the Attorney General's office and ask them.
Right.
And so what I did is I went back and looked at the training video because I knew that section was also in the training video. And I wanted to play that for them. I turned the comments off on that video because we were just going back and forth over the
Right.
same
Uh-huh.
things, and it was just redundant.
Right.
And it serves no purpose at that point. And so I
That person
did
just
turn
wanted to
comment.
argue. They didn't want to look up the information.
I get it. She's usually she's very respectful. I mean, in her arguing, and I get where and I want to respect where she was coming from because they were misreading what the AG's office put in the Open Meetings
Right.
Act. And truly, I urge you, if you have an attorney friend or someone that you can reach out to that's gone to law school and they can help interpret some of this, because it is a lot of legalese when you're reading this stuff.
Mhm.
And I am very fortunate. I'm married to an attorney and I have him at my discretion to make sure I'm understanding something correctly. And I do go to him and
Right.
ask him and make sure that I'm understanding something correctly. I also pick up the phone and I call the Attorney General's office. I've also called the Secretary of State's office
Me too.
for a multitude of reasons over the years, because it's part of what my husband does in his practice. So, so I am fortunate that I have that. And so I'm not trying to say that I am smarter than you or anything like that. I took the training and I understand what it is. And this is where it's really important when you're reading legal documents. And this is really important why people need attorneys, especially if you're setting up your will, a trust, a probate. If you're setting up a corporation, please use an attorney. It doesn't have to be my husband. He's very overwhelmed anyway right now. I'm just saying in general, go find a good business law attorney. Don't hire a family law attorney to create your LLC. You need a business law attorney to do that. And that's not all he does, but anyway, and he vets all of his clients. So yeah, you don't want to just, pick up or try and walk in the door. Anyway. So I mean, just do the research. I mean, to think that I would come on air and share information without doing my due diligence, or to think that I didn't do my due diligence, is really unfair to just assume that. Like I'm just,
I think they just
like I'm
think we get in here and start talking and don't really do anything.
Like
and
I'm
research.
throwing up information into the air, and I want to see if anything will stick on the walls.
Yeah.
Same as what I've been accused of from the Reddings. And that's where a lot of this, I think, is coming from, that I've been accused of being this big liar, and and I've been sued for it, and we're still, I mean, it's an appellate court because I am appealing it because I'm not lying. And let me tell you, I wouldn't come up with some Tom Clancy-ish elaborate lie and jeopardize my marriage, first of all, because I would expect my husband to look at me and go, why would you make up a giant lie like that? And you're nuts. Okay.
Mhm.
1, 2, I wouldn't jeopardize his reputation as an attorney. And 3, I would not jeopardize my own reputation over stupid local politics. And I think that's what people need to sit back and realize. None of what's been going on here in Burleson is on the national level. And you have to look at where some of these people have taken it. They've taken it to a level of
I know.
as if it's a presidential election. It's beyond crazy. So I'm just going to put that out there. I'm not
Why
I'm
is the
not a liar.
question.
I would never risk.
Why are they fighting so hard? I mean, it just makes me wonder.
Oh, well, I'm going to play an excerpt. This might be it might be a little too well. Here, I can control the volume here. So I'm going to play this excerpt. So here's the deal. Specifically, if you weren't tuned in yesterday, the Texas Open Meetings Act requires that all school districts with 10,000 or more students, their Board of Trustee meetings they are required to be live streamed. In addition to, they must keep a copy of that recording on their website for at least a year and accessible to the public. This is to protect the public. This is to make sure that the public has a right, and this is in the Attorney General and in the Open Meetings Act, and explains to you exactly what this is for. People have a right to governmental information. And that includes our school districts, because our school district is basically a governmental entity. It's owned by the taxpayers, not by the school district. We own the school district. And so, again, just kind of discussing again where parents have been misled to believe that they're in the hierarchy of the school system, the public school system, that they're at the bottom.
Right.
And that is not the case. You are at the top of it, just like you are for a city. So I'm going to play this portion, just a small portion of the Open Meetings Act training directly from the Attorney General's website, so that you can hear for yourself what I too learned. So I can't really see. Do I have to click that?
Share system audio.
Yes.
Yes. No share came up.
Oh, wait, I got to fix it. There we go.
There we go. There we go.
All right, here we go.
As a general rule, you should probably be meeting inside the district of your governmental body. Opinions from our office have concluded
hold
that
on.
a meeting held
Hang
in
on.
Mexico.
We can hear it. I don't think
or-
they can yet.
Uh-oh.
Well, I can leave it here. What's that at? 31.
2843,
What's it at now?
2919.
All right, I'm going to pause it right there because I forgot to open it up over here.
Hang
on.
Do, do, do,
Right.
do, 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 do.
All right, so we're going to talk about conducting open meetings now and what you need to do to conduct your meetings in compliance with the Act. Governmental bodies may only act through a quorum of their members. So to convene a meeting, you need to have a quorum present. And if members leave, resulting in the loss of a quorum, the meeting should be recessed until a quorum is again present. We're going to talk a little bit about the rights of the public with regard to open meetings. The Act does give members of the public certain rights, including the right to attend an open meeting and the right to record any part or all of an open meeting by video, audio, or other means. Now, a governmental body may adopt reasonable rules to maintain order at a meeting, and those rules could include the location of recording equipment and the manner in which the recording is conducted. But generally speaking, you as a governmental body have no authority to deny a member of the public or the press the right to record your meeting. Now, for many of you, your governmental body is already recording meetings and you're posting them online or you're broadcasting them live maybe. But in those instances when someone from the public wants to do that as well, you have to give them that right. Now, during the public comment section, it's always possible that a member of the public may raise a topic that isn't posted on the agenda. And the legislature acknowledges this possibility and expressly allows a member of a governmental body to respond to such a comment with a statement of specific factual information or a recitation of existing policy, despite that such information was not noticed. So this provides a little bit of cover for you to at least provide some very basic response to a member of the public that has raised a topic that you didn't provide notice for. But any deliberation or decision about the subject of an inquiry that wasn't noticed must be limited to placing that subject on the agenda for a subsequent meeting. All right, we're going to move on to broadcasting open meetings and when that is required. The Act authorizes all governmental bodies to broadcast their open meetings over the internet, and it now requires some governmental bodies to do so. In particular, the governing boards of general academic teaching institutions and the governing boards of junior college districts with a total student enrollment of more than 20,000 must broadcast any regularly scheduled meeting of the governing body. In addition, a number of governmental bodies are now required to make a video and audio recording of each regularly scheduled open meeting that is not a work session or a special called meeting, and make that recording available on the internet within 7 days of the day the recording is made. So those governmental bodies include the governing body of a home rule municipality with a population of 50,000 or more, a county commissioner's court for a county that has a population of 125,000 or more, a school district board of trustees for a school district that has a student enrollment of 10,000 or more, and then certain other transit authorities or departments. All right, so that wraps up our discussion of open meetings. Now we're going to move on.
All right. I think it's important to reiterate to broadcasting means live.
Yes.
Okay. I am broadcasting on the radio, on the TuneIn Radio Network. I am broadcasting to our app. I am live streaming and broadcasting video and audio to a multitude of places. So as you heard her say, it is broadcasting. And in addition to that, she says,
Right.
you must keep the video recordings and the audio recordings available to the public on your website. So it's in addition to, these are two separate things, broadcasting and keeping recordings. It's different, not the same thing. And so I hope that clarifies, because this is not my words. This is the words coming from the Attorney General's office, and this is their training. I highly recommend that everybody watches this video. I'd also like to point out, and this is not on the school district, it's on the requirements from the state, and I don't agree with them, and I am actually going to work with the Attorney General's office to change this, because right now, city entities, school board of trustees, anybody who is an elected official, they're only required in the wording to take the Open Meetings Act at the very first time that they're elected into their seat. It's after they take the oath. Then they have within 90 right after the 90 days of taking the oath, you are to have the Open Meetings Training Act certificate. So now we could play with that words. You could say, how many times have you taken the oath? Does it mean that every time you have to take the oath, you should have to take the Open Meetings Act training? I read it that way, but to clarify, I called the Attorney General's office and I spoke with one of their attorneys, and he said, no, it's just the one time.
So if they've been sitting on a board for, let's just say 18 years, 18 years, a lot of things have changed in the Open Meetings Act.
Well, let's just go. I mean, if you go to the end of this video, end of this training video, it actually gives you
things that have changed,
the legislation updates that have happened since they even created
this
most recent video. And so if you're not going back, if none of our board of trustees are going back and watching this and getting their certificate again, if our superintendent isn't doing it, if our school attorney, in-house attorney isn't doing it, who knows what the rules are? Okay. And I'm not trying to pick on Stacey Eisner. I have great respect for her. I've known her for a very long time and I have great respect for her. However, in texting with her during some of this election conversation, to have her tell me that she's playing catch up with knowing what the policy and rules are is astounding to me. It took everything in me to not respond and go, playing catch up? You've been in this seat for 18 years and you don't know the policies and rules that are required of the Board of Trustees.
And she just got put in as president.
Right. And that's
she
normal.
has done before.
It rotates.
Right.
It rotates. So,
but to me, that's more important. You should know what you're doing.
I don't care what the requirements are. I urge our Board of Trustees to go do the training for yourself. I also urge them to each do the Public Information Act training for themselves. They're not required to do that training ever because school boards are allowed to designate a PIA coordinator. And in this case, in the policies, within the policies of Burleson ISD, the policy says that they designate their superintendent as the PIA coordinator. I find that to be a conflict of interest, that you have a superintendent who answers to the board and he or she is the one dictating the public information that's being released. And if if he's not going and taking the PIA training every single year and updating himself on what rules have changed, how can you properly inform the public? So as a responsibility, a very reasonable responsibility, I urge them all to go do it. Again, I also would like to see that the BISD and other school districts that also, because this is not the only school district that makes the PIA coordinator the superintendent. It's the same issue over in Godly as well. And so, but I'll tell you what, it also puts the superintendent in a position of liability as well. Because when a Public Information Act complaint or grievance goes to the state, he gets grieved too, or she. They get grieved along with it because they are the PIA coordinator. And so if you're not following the laws according to the PIA, you get grieved too. You're liable. So I think it's a dangerous situation to be. Most schools have their own in-house counsel. I think that the in-house counsel should be the PIA coordinator, or you designate a specific person that is not in conflict with the information being provided. That's all. So anyway, we're about to go for the day. I hope that clarified some information. If you guys ever have any comments or questions, feel free to go to the contact page at JoCoCommunityRadio.com. and send me a scathing email. I don't care. I mean, but share if you've got other information and, or you want to clarify something, feel free to reach out. You're more than welcome to come sit at this table and talk it out with us too. So I'm not opposed to disagreeing points of views. Just be respectful about it. It's that simple. Have an amazing day, guys. God bless.
From Burleson to Venus and Grandview to Godly, this is the voice of Johnson County, JoCo Community Radio.
Why have thousands of aspiring authors teamed up with Christian